Welcome to the 10th lecture in the course Industrial Engineering and Operations Research. We were discussing inventory management, and in that context supply chain management is very important topic. So what is supply chain? A dictionary definition is that it is the series of processes in the production and distribution of goods from when they are first made, grown, etc. until they are bought or used. So complete way that a farmer is producing the rice is produced in the farm and then it goes to market, and from market it is being sold. So that type of thing, complete supply chain is there. So many issues are involved, that how to produce, how to transport is through trucks and all those type of things. So reverse supply chain, it is the series of activities required to retrieve a used product from a customer and either dispose of it or reuse it. So there is a term called reverse supply chain also. You might have seen that some cold drink manufacturer used to supply the cold drink in glass bottles, and then after that they used to insist that the glass bottles can be returned to them, and then they were returned by the shopkeepers. So now there is a famous quote by Richard Wilding, who is expert of inventory management. He says competition is becoming less between individual companies and more between the supply chains they are part of it. So supply chain is the network of organizations that are involved through upstream and downstream linkages in the different processes and activities that produce value in the form of products and services in the hands of the ultimate customer. So process flow in a supply chain is like this. You have raw material, then producer produces that, distributor distributes it, then it goes to retailer, then finally it goes to customer. So this is a supply chain. So you have to take care of each and everything. As you know, the weakest link will, you know that in a chain, weakest link will create more problem. So then there is a internal supply chain. Internal supply chain refers to all the supply chain activities that occur within a single organization. Within the organization also there is a supply chain from the initial planning and procurement to production and internal distribution. So here you have to do purchasing, from purchasing goes to production, then sales, then distribution and internal integration. So supply chain management term was first used in 1982. I have given the reference from where I got this information. It was given by in 1982 by Keith Oliville, a business consultant, in an interview. In the 90s, this term gained popularity. So supply chain management or SCM involves planning, management of activities in sourcing, procurement, conversion and logistics activities. And you know that what is logistics? It is the practical organization and detailed arrangements needed to make a complicated plan involving a lot of people and equipment successful. So in supply chain management, proper planning, execution, control and monitoring of supply chain activities are done to ensure and create a net value, build a competitive environment, maintain a good balance between demand and supply. Proper coordination and collaboration is required with all the channel partners. Partners can be suppliers, intermediaries, third-party providers and end-use customers. So it is also very famous that we sometimes, just to teach properly, we say that 7 R of supply chain management, so that you can pay attention to these 7 aspects. So right product, that means delivering the correct product that meets customer needs, that is the first thing. Right quantity, ensuring the exact amount of product is delivered, avoiding both shortages and excesses. Right condition, that means making sure the product is delivered without damage and in usable conditions. Right place, delivering the product to the correct location. Right time, that means ensuring timely delivery as per customer expectations. Right customer, making sure the product reaches the intended recipient. And right cost, that means providing the product at the most effective rate, balancing quantity and expense. What are the objectives of supply chain management? That one is improving efficiency, improving quality, optimizing transportation and logistics, then delivering in competitive pressures, and then managing inventory. So inventory management naturally is a part of supply chain management, and we focus on lean manufacturing, agile manufacturing, and combination of these two, that means agile manufacturing. We will tell little bit about lean manufacturing also. Lean manufacturing is a philosophy and methodology focused on maximizing productivity and minimizing waste in manufacturing processes, aiming to create more value for customers with fewer resources. So lean manufacturing for organization means do not keep the extra things. If you can manage with one machine, why to keep two machines? If you can manage with 2 persons, why to use 3 persons? So lean manufacturing is actually, sometimes it is called Toyota production system also. Some Toyota engineers used it too much, and there are many popular books on these topics like Toyota production system and lean manufacturing, but I am just giving exposure for key concepts. So one principle of lean manufacturing is that eliminating waste. Japanese term for waste is muda. So you have to reduce muda. So lean manufacturing identifies and eliminates activities that do not add value from the customer's perspective. There are different type of mudas. This includes things like overproduction, then waiting time, excess inventory, unnecessary motion, defects, and underutilized talent. Underutilized talent is also a waste, basically, that muda. And muda means unevenness, non-uniformity, and irregularity. Muda is also Japanese term. So muda is the reason for the existence of any of the 7 wastes, that means 7 mudas. Muda leads to muda. So unevenness means non-uniformity, and there is, suppose lines are not balanced, you are getting more item here, this machine is working fast, subsequent machine is working slow, then you will have muda. And muli means overburden, beyond one's power, excessiveness, impossible, or unreasonableness. So muli means you are basically putting overburden to the person. Okay. So little bit muda and muli may look conflicting, that sometimes muli can result from muda, and in some cases be caused by excessive removal of muda. You remove that muda, that means waste, so therefore you overburdened. Like that, suppose as I said, 2 machines were there, you can do with 1 machine, so why to keep another machine? But you removed the another machine, then the load on first machine became too much. So muli also occurs. So you have to be very careful. These are like demons in your organization. Muda, mula, and muli, they have to be one over. Okay. Agile manufacturing is a dynamic approach to production that prioritizes rapid responsiveness to changing customer needs and market demands. That means your industry should be able to adapt itself with the changing demand. So emphasizing speed and agility to gain a competitive edge. So sometimes it may look that lean and agile are little bit conflicting, because lean manufacturing is reducing the waste, keeping the resources to minimum, being thin. Okay. So that means if 1 machine can do, why to keep 2 machines? But then agility may be lost, because sometimes the excess demand comes, then you are not able to adapt to that excess demand. So you need to have something that you know, but it is possible with careful planning, it is possible to make the things lean as well as agile. So sometimes we say that is called re-agile. That means you find out the way that you don't have to keep too much resources also, but at the same time if the demand comes, then you can have some via media, maybe that you can outsource something, maybe you can quickly employ some extra staff, like that type of thing can be done. Now let us say that, so this is about lean and agile manufacturing. Now functions and activities of supply chain management, again coming to the topic. Supply chain management, if you want to study, in fact many places there are separate courses on supply chain management. So these topics, which some of these topics we will also be studying, but these are the topics: forecasting, that you forecast how much demand will be needed; purchasing, inventory management, which we have discussed in detail; information management, quality assurance, scheduling, production and delivery, and customer service. Now, benefits of supply chain management: lower inventories, higher productivity, greater agility, shorter lead times, high profits, greater customer loyalty, and it integrates separate organizations into a cohesive operating system. Now, how to evaluate the source of supply? So, we do vendor analysis as a part of supply chain management. Evaluation of a vendor or supplier is done on basis of price, quality, service, location, inventory policy and flexibility. There are many tools for supply chain management which can make the task easier. Push-pull strategy, that means push system means that I keep making a product and I push in the market. Pull system is that make as per the demand of the market. Is it not? Like even book printing also can be done in pull system, that is print on demand. Okay, when demand is there, then print. So, pull system is the part of just in time, and it is for pull system Japanese term is Kanban and English translation is signboard. So, Kanban means a Japanese manufacturing system in which the supply of components is regulated through the use of an instruction card sent along the production line. So, we make some type of card type of thing. It may be physical card, but nowadays in digital age it can be visual or digital type of thing. But there are two cards, that withdrawal Kanban and production ordering Kanban. Withdrawal Kanban shows the quantity that subsequent process should withdraw from the preceding one, and production ordering Kanban shows the quantity that the preceding process should produce. So, you know, suppose you take some item, then you can give one card or signage to production people that they have to make that thing. So, in the supply chain there are many issues. There is some thing called bullwhip effect. Bullwhip effect is a supply chain phenomena where a small fluctuation in demand at the retail level causes progressively larger fluctuations at the wholesale, distributor and manufacturer levels, leading to inefficiencies and increased cost. So, causes of bullwhip effect, that means small change in something, but it will cause big change here. Small change may be fluctuation in demand, but it causes larger fluctuation at other places. So, this may happen because of lack of communication and disorganization. There is no communication. Then order batching. Companies sometimes don't place orders with the supplier after receiving an order. This alters the variability in demand. And then variation in prices, promotional discount, special offers can disrupt the usual demand for products. It leads to inaccurate demand forecasting and consequently overproduction. So, bullwhip effect can be minimized by better communication between managers, improved inventory planning process, then collaboration between customers and suppliers. Now, there is something that ethics in supply chain management, of course, very important. It has to be practiced rather than preached. So, therefore, I am just putting one slide on ethics in supply chain management. And ethical supply chain is a practice that focuses on the need for corporate social responsibility, working to produce products and services in a way that treats its workers and the environment ethically. Okay. So, you have to pay attention to the welfare of the people, you have to pay attention to the environment. Supporting an ethical supply chain means that companies will incorporate social and human rights and environmental considerations into how they do business across the world. Now, I am just telling that some part of supply chain management and inventory is the material requirements planning and manufacturing resource planning. I will give that some key concept. Now, what is MRP? A system for calculating material requirements based on production schedule. It was developed in the 1960s to address inventory management challenges, and key goals are ensure the right materials are available at the right time, minimize inventory cost, then optimize production schedules. And components of MRP are master production schedule. It specifies what to produce and when. Then bill of materials, a structured list of materials and components required for production. and inventory status file, that means what is the status of inventory, it tracks inventory levels and records, and working of MRP. So, input is master production schedule, you give master production schedule when it has to be made, and bill of materials you give, inventory status file you give. Then process will be explodes bill of material, calculates net material requirement and schedules production, and output will be material plans, then purchase orders and work orders. Now, second thing, that this is called MRP, but there is a manufacturing resource planning, that is called MRP-II, because same acronym is there, that is why it is called MRP-II. So, what is MRP-II? It is manufacturing resource planning, an extension of MRP that integrates other business processes like financial capacity planning and human resources, introduced in the 1980s to create a more comprehensive resource planning system, and key goals are that it optimizes manufacturing resources, materials, manpower and machines together, not only material but manpower and machine has come here, and enhance decision making through data integration. And key features of MRP-II are manufacturing resource planning is capacity planning, it matches resources availability with production requirement. Then financial integration, it links production planning with cost management. Then sales and operations planning is also aligns demand forecast with production schedules, and feedback also, it has feedback loops, adjusts plan based on actual performance and variances. It corrects the plan based on the actual performance. So, if you compare MRP and MRP-II, that means materials requirement planning and manufacturing requirement planning, then focus in MRP is on material planning, whereas MRP-II is comprehensive resource planning. Scope of MRP is limited to production needs, but MRP-II includes financials, HR, etc. Integration standalone system, but it has to be MRP-II has to be integrated with ERP system, that means enterprise resource planning system. As far as feedback is concerned, no real time feedback is in MRP, but there is a real time feedback is MRP-II, that is real time adjustments possible. And there is some related term, that closed loop MRP, that means about mostly giving feedback in MRP system. So, benefits of MRP and MRP-II are what? MRP benefits are reduces inventory levels, improves order accuracy, and MRP-II benefits are enhances resource utilization, facilitates data driven decision making, and improves cross functional collaboration. So, challenges of MRP and MRP-II are that MRP challenges are dependency on accurate data, it cannot handle capacity constraints, and MRP-II challenges are that if you want to implement MRP-II, you need to have high implementation cost, lot of facilities are needed, means software etc. may also be expensive, requires extensive employee training and complexity of integration. So, these are the challenges. Applications of MRP and MRP-II have been done in many industries like automotive, aerospace, electronics and manufacturing sectors, and there are some software which assist in these tasks. They are SAP, Oracle and Microsoft Dynamics and many others. Now, last topic in this one is that I will tell something about the digital supply chain. In a typical or traditional supply chain, the flow of goods involves designing a product, sourcing and procuring the raw materials and parts, then marketing the product, estimating demand, planning how the firm will market the final product, taking orders, arranging logistics and sales channels, and providing customers with visibility into their orders. So, this is the system in digital traditional supply chain. So, items tend to travel in a linear fashion with each step dependent on the previous one. While conceptually simple, the linear pre-digital approach to supply chains is dependent on each step in the process performing about as expected. So what is digital supply chain? A digital supply chain, in contrast to a traditional supply chain, provides more visibility into the workings of the chain. You can see also that how the things are going. The added near real-time visibility of supplier performance and customer needs lets supply chain owners develop more complex relationship with more supplies. So digital supply chains are more customer centric and aim to meet today's three pillars of excellence in demand fulfillment. That means speed, then personalization and choice. So the technology is typically used to monitor manufacturing or logistic processes. Through the use of gateways, that data can be shared with stakeholders along the supply chain. Like we get some glimpse of this now also, that everybody gets. Suppose we got some speed post, we can track the status that where that thing is there. So it is something like a type of digital supply chain. Data is then aggregated and used by stakeholders to assess whether they can reliably expect the products they need. So we use for that, to make effective, we use Internet of Things. Internet of Things is defined as a network of different physical objects that are embedded with digital devices such as sensors and actuators. The elements are connected in order to collect and exchange data. Furthermore, communication is enabled between objects or things, systems and services in the network that allows for data sharing. So the term things in IoT refers to any entity that are embedded with sensors and software with the purpose of connecting and exchanging data with other systems. IoT is the result of many technological developments complementing each other and allowing for the gap between the physical and virtual worlds to be bridged. Now the capabilities from the different developments include sensing, actuation, communication, cooperation, addressability, identification, embedded information processing, localization and user interface. The network infrastructure created by the IoT that connects the virtual system and physical objects allows for more efficient, accurate and intelligent operations performance. So IoT in smart logistics is used. It is considered the critical enabler for smart logistics services. Smart logistics management of objects and information flows cannot be facilitated without the IoT tracking and connecting the status of moving objects in the supply chain. Moving objects includes goods, trucks and storage facilities and storage capacity, and immediate collection and efficient monitoring of data associated with the physical objects enables smart logistics. As the amount of barcode, sensor and RFID tags equipped to physical objects increases, the logistics and transportation companies' ability to monitor the movement of these objects in real time throughout the supply chain increases. So transportation management systems and IoT will be a core part of the transportation and logistics industries in the future. IoT will heavily affect automobile services and transportation system also. Nowadays you can track the status of bus etc. through IoT, that which location bus is there, that you can see in the screen. So example, improved sharing of underutilized resources among vehicles through enhanced sensing, data processing, networking and communication capabilities. By tracking and monitoring the location of each vehicle, you are able to track the location and its movement and predicting the future location of the vehicle. Ola and Uber etc., they are already doing those type of things. So to just summarize everything, that in digital supply chain we can coin this name based on this paper by Govindan et al., that is supply chain 4.0, just like industry 4.0 is there, and we can have procurement 4.0, means modern thing in which Internet of Things, Internet of Services, big data analytics, cloud computing, digital twin. Then manufacturing 4.0, that means here Internet of Things, cyber physical system, additive manufacturing, big data analytics, cloud computing, all these type of things will be using. Warehousing 4.0, that means use the modern techniques in warehousing. And logistics 4.0, that means again you use big data, cloud computing, digital twin for logistics purpose. So how to develop a digital supply chain? Means define digital strategy and vision, that means what is your vision, what you want, ensure data integration and connectivity, then implement automation and smart operations, then enable real-time visibility, that means monitor activities through dashboards and digital twins. If I have a digital twin of a truck, so my truck is in Kolkata, I am in Guwahati, but from here I can see that where it is going, what problem it encountered. So these type of things are called real-time visibility. Then foster partner collaboration. If you want it to be successful, not only you have to be digitally strong, but your partner should also be strong. It is that you have digital system, but your supplier doesn't have digital system, then it will not be successful. Drive continuous improvement with analytics. Okay, data analytics can be this one. Now, impact of 3D printing in supply chain management. 3D printing will affect this in big way, because by 3D printing we can make the things. So I have already told, but we are just telling that in a graphical way. Suppose we have supplier, then supplier to manufacturer, then it goes to distributor, then it goes to retailer, then it goes to customer. This is conventional supply chain. But if I use 3D printing system effectively, then from supplier the thing can directly go to distributor, because distributor can produce by 3D printer in his or her center directly, then it goes to retailer, or it can be 3D printing retailer supplier chain. There is no need of distributor. From supplier it can go to retailer and then it can go to customer. So this is what that about that supply chain management. And so overall the module concerning inventory management and supply chain management is now complete. Thank you for your attention.